Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this thread here from the HBAR Foundation. So they said this year has been a big one for the HBAR Barians, for the Hedera, well, I should say the HBAR Foundation. 2022 has been a year of interconnectedness. Now, as it comes to a close, we'd like to reflect on what we started, what we have accomplished, and our learning. So first and foremost, they do start off with what they have been really kind of looking at for their funds. It was around the crypto economy, metaverse, sustainable impact, and even fintech and payments. And then, of course, builders. They have engaged in 5 core work streams: grants, business development, and ecosystem connectivity, go-to-market success and growth, technical strategy and support, finance, and even operations. And then, of course, on-chain. So a lot of people bring up transactions per second. I actually have it over here in their breakdown. So here is the TPS. So yeah, I mean, on the surface, this looks dead. I mean, here is the average TPS. You could see it around crypto, create account, total, HTS, non-fungible tokens like fungible and non-fungible, smart contracts, and of course, file. So total transactions to date around this, you could see it over on the report breakdown, but here we have total transactions. I believe that this is going back 1 year, so this is the full year span. So going all the way back to December of 2021 to now, we've seen about 70, almost 3 million transactions through crypto, 670, almost 6,000 through created account. The HTS service, about 443 million, 8.5, almost 8.6 million from fungible tokens, 1 million from non-fungible tokens, and smart contracts, almost 3 million. So pretty decent in terms of transaction flow. Average TPS was about 18.98, which I know a lot of people are going to say like that's nothing, but I want you guys to understand that when we compare and contrast it to other networks, this is not that bad. But also max TPS was about 1,437, and when you do compare it to other major networks, so other major chains like Solana, BNB, Polygon, Algorand, XRP, Ethereum, Avalanche, Cardano, and even Cosmos, I mean, it's a night and day difference. You know, I've always talked about why Hedera is still doing very good in terms of TPS. Nobody's really looking at it though, because we're not seeing 300 plus transactions per second like we've seen on Solana, etc. But comparing this to other major chains and other major assets like Algo or even XRP or even Ethereum, you know, we're killing it. We're at almost 19 TPS, which I know for some people is not crazy, but you know, again, when you compare it to some of the bigger names, this is actually a pretty good statistic. And we even do see the account growth doing very, very well. I mean, like we've seen in just the 1 year span, about 770,000 created accounts, total accounts sitting at about 1.35 million, active accounts 276.6K. So pretty good statistics, not, you know, bad at all. And yeah, you can see a lot of applications received around a few use cases. Most of them are the metaverse and, you know, crypto economy, but then we also do see some other ones as well, which is pretty exciting. And then grants given, we do see a lot of them going towards metaverse projects, but crypto economy about 55, while payments and fintech was about 23. So pretty cool. And you can see other categories here. So to give you guys a quick insight, so DeFi was about 24, infrastructure about 24 as well. So these were the two leading ones, which I actually am excited about DeFi, because DeFi, as you guys know me, is very exciting. And also live projects. So a lot of people always ask, like, where's the live projects on Hedera? Well, here you guys have 38 of them are the crypto economy, 28 of them are the metaverse, and the other ones around payments and fintech, 9, 7, and 7 around sustainability as well. So there is live projects, and we are seeing projects anticipated go live next quarter. So quarter 1 of 2023, 45 of them are on the metaverse. This is actually very exciting, because recently we've seen a few reports around the metaverse and just how large this entire industry could be. You know, it's upwards of like the $6 to $13 trillion range, which is insane by 2030. So in 8 years. And a lot of people will say like, oh, it's 8 years to say. I mean, 8 years to get to 5 to just $13 trillion for one industry is not that crazy. And we do see 13 for the crypto economy, 5 for sustainability, 1 for other, 5 for privacy, 2 for female founders, and 6 for payments and fintech. So pretty awesome to see those statistics, because it does show that we are about to see a large amount of projects to go live. And then we do see the active pipeline. So in addition to supporting grantees pre and post launch, we'll also continue to nurture our active pipeline of potential opportunities. Approximately 42% of opportunities are active conversations, either around grant scoping or agreement negotiation. And we do see about 212 in discovery, about 83 in grant scoping, and grant request form is about roughly 54, and then 20 is about other. So pretty nice to see. And then, yeah, we have a few goals down here around access, commerce, and awareness and stuff like that. This is pretty much a streamlined update of what we've seen over here on some of the breakdowns, but it is very cool to see these breakdowns from the HBAR Foundation. I think that's very exciting, and I love to see, just the thing is that when we look at any other project or any other network around this space, we don't see transparency like this quite a bit. We don't see in-depth viewpoints around things like this, and it's always cool to see a project be upfront about their goals, upfront about what they are doing, and for a project that is mainly focused on enterprise-grade applications and really going after the bigger guys, them being this transparent, being upfront, that's something to really know. And I think I think that by itself is very, very cool to see. But yeah, with that being said, let's move on and let's talk about a few other things. So Danny Ide posted this over on Twitter, and it says, well, it's a quote, I should say, from an interview with the TIIO. But we do see Hedera is actually not a blockchain. We're a Hashgraph. What does that mean? Well, it means it's like hack proof, which is a big deal because most layer ones are barely BFTs. So having that ABFT security mechanism is huge for Hedera. Remember what I said about the security mechanism that is behind Hedera? It's something very, very lucrative for them. It puts them beyond other major layer ones. But also when you combine this with the other power and the potential behind Hedera as technology and as a tech stack for most use cases, specifically around payments and things like that, it really kind of goes beyond the means of just like what the typical layer ones are focused on. So we do see over here from Barbarian, and it's a quote from the head of CBDC and protocols at Visa. We do see, if one of the major use cases of blockchain is for payments, then the basic requirement is that the blockchain has to function just as good as today, if not better. And then we do see down here, the Visa team is working with Ethereum developers to increase the capacity to handle large volumes of transactions, provide increased security. Hedera can do 6-figure TPS within a single shard. Finality is 3 to 5 seconds, all while being ABFT with COQ proof and leaderless. And again, as we do see these major names like Visa going towards Ethereum, it's kind of comical, especially when you look at Ethereum 2.0. Comparing it to Hedera in terms of just watt, per transaction, watt hour per transaction, it's crazy, right? Because there's not a lot of networks in this game that are, just as, if not way more efficient than Visa. And here's a great insight to that. I'm sure that you guys have seen this, image quite a bit. But it speaks volumes. It really does speak volumes when you put everything side by side like this. And then also you go back over here to this report and you see the TPS, and you look at the price of HBAR and you see how just significantly undervalued it is, and overlooked too. We still see Ethereum and Bitcoin being touted as like the best thing since sliced bread around crypto. And it begs the question, are people even paying attention, right? Because some of this technology around this space, I think, is just criminally early for us, right? And what do I mean by that? Well, I think that assets like HBAR are extremely overlooked simply because we are still very early in this space. And I think that the technology behind Hedera will reach mass adoption. I think that it will get to the point of being massively adopted, especially in the enterprise grade side of things. I think that the security mechanism behind it, I think that the technology behind it that makes it extremely scalable, and also not only scalable but extremely fast in terms of transactional finality, and then the cost associated too is like, you get the best of all worlds when you look at Hedera and HBAR, which is awesome, especially if you are an enterprise grade use case. But with all of this, I do think that there is a few things in place and a few events in place that will really kind of put this on the board. I think recently we talked about Davos 2023. This will be happening on January 15th to the 20th. And we do see Hedera is ready to bring Web3 to the forefront of the conversation at Davos 2023. I just included this in a report recently. Now, what I do want to bring up is how big this is actually, like this is probably one of the biggest events around crypto and technology. So we do see cooperation in a fragmented world. This is in 26 days, 5 hours. And we do see about the meeting. The world today is at critical inflection point. The sheer number of ongoing crises calls for bold collective action. The annual meeting will convene leaders from government, business, and civil society to address the state of the world and discuss priorities for the year ahead. Now, we see a lot of the speakers here. I mean, these are some of the highest individuals around finance. We see BlackRock, the Minister of Canada, AXA, World Economic Forum, Bain & Company, the IMF, CERN, and so many other major names. These are some of the higher tier names around everyday life, around some of the largest companies out there. We even see Accenture there, government of Singapore. So many big names. And you know what's crazy about this is that when you go over here to the annual meeting, Davos 2023 report from the World Economic Forum going back to November 10th, 2022, and you scroll down here. So they do mention a few things around it. The meeting will bring together more than 2,500 leaders from government, business, and civil society. And then we do see under the theme Cooperation in a Fragmented World, the annual meeting 2023 will bring together more than 2,500 leaders from government, business, and civil society at a pivotal time for the world. And we do see the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine have triggered significant transformations. Unless systemic risks are addressed, the promise of a decade of action may become a decade of uncertainty and fragility. Davos 2023 will provide an important platform to drive forward-looking solutions and address the most pressing global challenges through public-private cooperation. So as we really kind of look at things happening within these meetings and what's happening within our society, we are seeing a major shift convening behind everything that we've seen in the last couple months. I mean, I do think that there's a large amount of distractions happening, and I just recently mentioned this in an XRP video actually. And it's simply because like nobody's really paying attention to the bigger picture. And the bigger picture here is something very, very large is happening to our financial system. And again, I've been addressing this for a while on this channel. I always say, like, things like this are not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in the blink of an eye or anything like that. But one thing that I will say, and one thing that I have noticed around this entire space when we talk about finance and payments and the adoption of crypto and the next big thing, one thing that I have noticed is just the sheer sort of, how should I say it, lack of identity around what crypto really is becoming, right? Because nobody's really paying attention to names like the World Economic Forum, that if you go over to their website and you go to blockchain and you go and look at the technology revolution that's happening behind blockchain, like nobody's really doing enough research into what's happening with this tech. Everyone is looking at the articles that are being posted by CNBC and the mainstream media saying, we're banning crypto. Crypto needs to go away because it's bad. Thieves are using it online. They're utilizing it for this, that. They're money laundering with it. Go look at fiat currency. What has fiat currency, what have people been doing with it? I mean, there's cartels out there utilizing fiat currency every single day to, do drug trade, to do, crime trade, all that kind of stuff. And, that does not get mentioned at all. But crypto, they want to attack crypto because they want to control technology around the fiat system. But when we look at crypto is blossoming into the next frontier around technological advancements, and they can't control it. It's not that easy for them to control. Hence why they're trying to invoke strict regulation policy behind crypto, and also why they are trying to attack it as much as possible in the mainstream media. And they're trying to tell you, the retail individual, to stay the heck away from crypto. It's bad. It's terrible. It's this, that, because this is the next frontier. This is the next evolution. This is the, in my opinion, this technology will make a ton of individuals rich that are not only aware of what's happening, but also patient enough to see everything blossom into reality. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, hope that you all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.